This is an animal cell. They are eukaryotic and make up every part of you and every animal on the earth. The animal cell is very complicated, but we'll explain all of its parts as best as we can. We start with the cell membrane. It's made up of a phospholipid bilayer with the hydrophilic heads facing the outside and the hydrophobic tails on the inside. An important thing about the cell membrane is that it's selectively permeable, meaning only certain molecules can go through it. They have to be small, uncharged, and polar in order to pass through. However, other substances can pass through as well using channel proteins. These proteins are embedded throughout the membrane and molecules can flow through them down their concentration gradient, or be pushed against the gradient using ATP, the energy source of the cell. Throughout these processes, the membrane keeps the inside of the cell, the cytoplasm, at the right concentration of every molecule that it needs. The cytoplasm is a solution of water and nutrients. It is necessary for transport of nutrients throughout the cell. For example, ribosomes and materials traveling in vesicles move from one organelle to another through the cytoplasm. Without the cytoplasm, the cell would be deflated and incapable of its functions. This is a mitochondria. They're composed of an outer membrane, which covers and protects it, an inner membrane, which has folds called cristae, and fluid on the inside called the matrix. In the matrix are the mitochondria's DNA and ribosomes. As we all know, the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. They undergo cellular respiration, a process in which they take glucose and oxygen and turn them into carbon dioxide, water, and the necessary energy, ATP, for our bodies. Cellular respiration has two parts, the Krebs cycle in the matrix and the electron transport chain, which occurs in the inner membrane. Together, they work to efficiently make the majority of the cell's energy. Arguably, the most important part of the cell is the nucleus. It has a membrane known as the nuclear envelope, which regulates the passage of ribosomes and some proteins. The nucleus also contains the cell's DNA. In the nucleus, DNA binds to histones to form chromatin. The nucleus also controls the functions of the entire cell through regulating gene expression. When certain proteins need to be created, the genes that make the proteins are transcribed in the nucleus. Then the messenger RNA, or mRNA, made is sent out to ribosomes inside the cell. Ribosomes are the cell structures that translate the amino acid chain made in the nucleus into a secondary structure protein. Ribosomes can be found floating within the cytoplasm or attached to the endoplasmic reticulum, or ER. There are two different types of ER, the smooth and rough. The smooth ER works like a factory warehouse. It makes enzymes, detoxifies, and stores ions that the cell might need later. The rough ER works with the ribosomes to synthesize and package proteins, assemble amino acids into polypeptides, and then send those proteins and polypeptides to the Golgi apparatus. The Golgi apparatus is sort of the Amazon warehouse of the cell. It's made up of membrane stacks called Golgi bodies. Once it has received things from the ER, the Golgi apparatus processes and packages them into vesicle sacs with phospholipid walls that float around the cell and bring whatever is inside them to their destination, which can be inside or outside the cell, depending on the contents in the vesicle. All of these cell parts and organelles work together to keep the animal cell functioning properly. Without them working properly, your body isn't able to function, so be thankful for these little guys, because if they die,
you die.